So there you have it, the Prime Minister inaugurating the new Parliament building. You saw the Havan and the Puja, all of which was accompanied by the Sengol being presented to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister walking up the steps of the Lok Sabha complex and placing the Sengol right next to the Speaker's chair. Now, as the Prime Minister concludes that 12 interfaith prayer meeting that was recited there, the Prime Minister now walking up, I believe, to the old complex. Remember, the old Parliament complex and the new Parliament complex are right adjacent to each other. The old complex will function as a museum of sorts, while the new Parliament building will be present for the next 50, 100, 200, 300 years, what have you. So let me go across to our colleagues who are joining us nice and early this morning on the 28th of May as a new Parliament has been dedicated to the nation. Those were pictures from moments ago when the Prime Minister installed the Sengol, the holy Sengol, which was presented to him by the Adinams, the 21 Adinams who have come from Tamil Nadu, in what was considered the transfer of power from the British Raj to independent India 75 years ago. And now the Sengol has been installed next to the Speaker's chair in the Lok Sabha. Maria Shakil, our political editor, is live with us. Arun Dhanta is joining us. Yash is also joining us. And a whole host of guests will be joining us over the next few hours. So, Maria, the significance of this moment, the dedication of a new Parliament to a new India, cannot be lost on 1.4 billion Indians.
Absolutely, Zaka, and we are witnessing history unfold right before us. For journalists who have covered the proceedings in the old Parliament, what will change for us, that remains to be seen, but certainly the new Parliament has been inaugurated by the Prime Minister with all the rituals being followed in the morning, with Sengol now being firmly installed next to the Speaker's chair. The Lok Sabha Speaker was with the Prime Minister throughout those proceedings, and then the unveiling which happened. So, the first part of the day is over now, and the Prime Minister will be heading back roughly around 9 a.m. is what we are told, and then he returns around 11:30 when the dignitaries will start arriving, and then the proceedings of the Parliament, the new Parliament, will happen. Just look at that building, Zaka, just right behind me. This symbolizes New India. As we have been saying, what better day to remember the tryst with destiny speech of the first Prime Minister of independent India, Jawaharlal Nehru, than today, when he said that old should give way to the new, that there comes a moment, but very rarely in Indian history, and we are witnessing that history unfold. The national emblem right there, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, are symbolizing those colors which are reflection of India. The lotus, which is the Indian national flower, and also the national bird, which is the peacock, is the color which has been chosen for the Lok Sabha. Overall, the sense certainly is that because it is a country of over a billion, Zaka, the number of MPs would go up. For the last 50 years, there has been that freeze or the cap on the overall numbers of MPs in both the houses, because there was no seating arrangement for them. In the Lok Sabha, which has 543 in all, that number could go up to over 800 is the sense. In the Rajya Sabha, the present number of 243 can be increased substantially to add another 100. And the Lok Sabha, when it will open those extra gates for a joint session, can accommodate close to 1,200 plus MPs. So I think the sense certainly is that coming next when the overall number of MPs in the Parliament will increase.
Pallavi Ghosh is also joining us. Arun Dhanta is there with us from outside the Parliament complex as well. Pallavi, so one standout feature is also the fact that no opposition party, at least the mainstream 20 opposition parties, have decided to boycott today's ceremony. Looking at, the nature of what we saw just over the last hour, couple of hours or so, this is a historic moment. This is a moment that is going to far outlive the current dispensation, the current ruling party, or even every parliamentarian who is there in Parliament today. Is the opposition sort of having, if not a rethink, but at least missing out on the history of today's moment?
Yeah, I mean, when you look back and you're going to re-look at the pictures and the visuals of today, and you capture history and you capture this big moment, I'm sure the opposition's absence is something which, frankly speaking, is not even going to be felt now, because, there's a shelf life to the entire boycott politics. And frankly speaking, when I did speak to some within the Congress party, some in the DMK for that matter, Shiv Sena, NCP, I don't think they're completely very comfortable with the idea of a boycott on a day like today. In fact, not many would agree to come on record, barring, I think Acharya Pramod went on record to say this, that, it's all very well to prove your point. You've made your point that the President of India should have been there. But you have to be a part of that history in making, because that is what is captured on record. If I talk about a discomfort within many of the allies and those who are boycotting today, let's take a quick example of the DMK. The very clear idea that the focus is also on the Tamil Nadu belief. The Sengol is actually symbolizing Tamil belief, tradition, culture. And, AIADMK has seized that moment. They have condemned what the DMK has done because they are boycotting it. And DMK is primarily a Tamil Nadu-based party. And not being a part of this historic moment when Sengol is going to occupy that pride of place inside Parliament, right behind where the Speaker is going to be speaking, I'm sure that's going to come up in Tamil elections. And AIADMK is not one to let go of this opportunity. Look at Shiv Sena and the NCP. I also get a sense that many of them were stumped by the announcement which was made by the Home Minister when he announced the Sengol being put up. I think they never calculated that this kind of a surprise could actually be sprung on them. Shiv Sena and the NCP have always cautioned the Congress party, please don't make any attacks on Savarkar, because we are a Maharashtra-based party primarily, and it becomes a very difficult situation for that. And Rahul Gandhi was actually advised that today, on a day like today, where Veer Savarkar anniversary is being commemorated and remembered, I think that thing is also something which is not going to be let go of. So yes, Zaka, it is important, I guess, for political parties also to understand you register your protest, but you also become a part on record of history being made.
All right, Arun is also joining us. Arun, the significance of the Sengol and the fact that, the 21 Adinams of Tamil Nadu presented that to the Prime Minister walking up the steps of the new Lok Sabha and then installing that right next to the Speaker's chair. What are BJP folks telling you? This whole civilizational connect, or at least the attempt of that connect, how big and how important is that, not just from the point of view of Tamil Nadu or the upcoming Tamil Nadu elections, but also from a civilizational point of view? Arun, can you hear me? All right. Maria, you want to take that?
Yes. So, Zaka, talking specifically about that, we started witnessing that ceremony unfold from the 7 LKM last evening, when 21 Adinams actually went to the Prime Minister's residence and handed over. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was present, External Affairs Minister were present in that ceremony. And today, when the entire mantra ucharan began in the morning around 7:15, and then the ceremony unfolded, ending with the 12 religious chants that we saw in the end, is a message that is being carried forward. We did speak to a number of BJP leaders. The sense certainly is that this is more than just a political point scoring, that this is more than just sending a message to Tamil Nadu. This is about sending a message of civilization, that this is a 1200-year-old mutt, the Madurai, Adinam, which is being brought to Delhi in many ways. So if you look at it, the idea certainly is that when that letter was written by that, if I remember it correctly, her name was Padma. She wrote that letter to the Prime Minister that there's something like this which exists, and why don't you bring that to the Parliament of India? And then the Prime Minister's idea was that let's bring it to the Parliament of India. The entire journey has been something which has been clearly historic. When you speak to the BJP leaders, they say every idea is of the Prime Minister, that every aspect, the color choice, the various symbolism which is there inside the new Parliament has a stamp of Prime Minister, and he inaugurating it is only befitting because of the kind of involvement that he has had. And of course, he has been a target of the opposition, in particular, Zaka, where it has been seen that is this his vanity project.